Okay, I think we'll get started. So today we are starting a new series on the LuckFox. Some of you might be coming to us from the original LuckFox series, and some of you might be coming to us brand new. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus this playlist on interactions between multiple LuckFoxes. And for the most part, I'm going to have 4 LuckFoxes, put them together in a network, and try to think about the things that we could do where the synergy of the network brings something new to the picture. So as we look at the sequence of things that we're going through, our original playlist here, which is just on the LuckFox, is talking largely about what the LuckFox can do, how it can interact with peripherals, how can it be used in a scientific setting or for projects. That's what we've been focusing on here. So primarily a single board and looking at some of the projects associated with that. But it's kind of cool that it has this internet or this Ethernet access, and you can really set it up as a network or cluster of LuckFoxes. So we're going to take this playlist, here. So we'll start renumbering our lectures with this playlist, and we'll call this the network playlist. And here we're going to focus again on what are some of the things that that we can do because we have this network. And so today we're just going to show the build and then how to set up the LuckFoxes and get them ready for network. Then what we're going to do is talk about some various things. First thing we'll probably do is the MQTT protocol. So I've got a project where all the LuckFoxes are talking to each other. One LuckFox is coordinating things, and then it's reporting the temperature, memory usage, uptime, and so on to an OLED screen for the network. So it's a kind of just a network monitoring project. We'll maybe do some other things with MQTT protocol. We can pull in some of the stuff we've used from here, so maybe we'll explore looking at having the LuckFoxes share a common drive or interact with where one of them is interacting with a camera and so on. So this will run parallel to the developments in this course. Now, if you are new to this series, I'm Darren Olness. I'm in the chemistry department at Concordia College. I teach physical chemistry, general chemistry, some neuroscience. Right now I'm teaching a lot of general physics. And I'm really interested in really all sorts of things. I live my professional life according to this very famous saying by G.N. Lewis, and this is quoted in almost every physical chemistry book, and that is that physical chemistry is everything that's interesting. And I read this in a very open way, that exploring the world from the perspective of physical chemistry allows you to just follow any of your curiosity. And I found that working with microcontrollers, I've always loved working with electronics, and working with microcontrollers has just been really, really enjoyable. And I've really enjoyed trying to dig deep into these LuckFoxes. Of course, there's so many other that you can do, but I thought I would jump into this one, really kind of figure out what I'm doing on this one, and then pass that along as I can. So I'm a physical chemist. I'm certainly not a network expert. Not, as you'll see, I'll kind of, if you've been following in this series, I kind of stumbled my way through Linux. So I'm coming at it from a curious science perspective, and then trying to think about what are some of the things that one might use this for in the laboratory. Now, a couple of assumptions that we're going to take starting here is that you've got your LuckFox set up, you've got Ubuntu installed on it, and you've got some of the Python programs installed and some of the other necessary Ubuntu packages that don't come in the general install. So if you haven't done that yet, then the LuckFox tutorial is an awesome site. This has a lot of how to get your LuckFox set up. Fusion Automate has a YouTube page and a couple of great videos there on how to flash the build route to the RAM chip itself, and then how to flash Ubuntu, which is what we'll be using, to an SD card that goes into the LuckFox. Then our lab 1 in the mini course, so not this lecture one, but the lecture one for the associated mini course, goes through a lot of the setup. And I'm actually going to steal a couple of minutes from there today. And so if you do need to follow along with that, I'll edit that into this video so you can follow along. And then we'll have, there's various PDFs that you can get from our website. So kind of go through that as well. Okay, so for today, we're just going to focus on the physical structure of the mini rack setup and then getting the LuckFox set up. So let's go to the computer and go ahead and do that. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the physical system. You can see in the upper right corner, you can see a top view coming from my dock cam. And then I set up one of my other cameras on the side here so that you can kind of see a side view. So this is just a quick overview, and then we'll go into how this was made. So there's 4 levels here, and this can stack indefinitely, really. It doesn't have the horizontal stacking quite as well, but it has a nice vertical stacking. The LuckFoxes are bedded in actually Raspberry Pi Pico breakout board, but as we know, the LuckFox has precisely the same pin arrangement as the Raspberry Pi Pico, so we can utilize this breakout board. I've got Ethernet cables going to a 4-port switch that is then hooked up into my router. So this is all visible from the local area network coming through the router. Okay, so let's see how we built this. And the first thing I'm going to do is just go through some of the supplies. So I mentioned this, and we can see it here on the dock cam as well. A little bit harder to see here probably, but a better picture is right here on the Amazon site, and rather inexpensive. This is really the most expensive, I think, part of the whole thing in terms of the fact that if you want to buy like 4 or 5 of these things. But the layout, again, is precisely what we want. And notice, I can't really put my, notice the through holes here. And that's what we take advantage of to build the rack. So this, I'll turn this on its side now, these are running through those through holes. The other nice thing, and let me see if it's got a side view. Here's kind of a side view. There are both header pins. Again, hard to, if you kind of look where the mouse is here, these are header pins here, and then these are header screw ports. So they present themselves to the side as well. So if we look here, I'm going to turn this on its side, we can see all the ports here pretty easily accessible. You know, one of the things I worried about racking this is that then you couldn't access the pins, which is the whole point of the LuckFox. You can also get into these pins, but a little bit less so now that it's in the rack, these side header pins. Okay, so then we need to connect these, and I just ordered these. These are M2.5. So kind of a half metric here. It's a little bit the screw holes are too small for a 440, and then it's a little bit big for a 256 in the Imperial. So this is perfect. These are nice standoffs. Nice set here. I wasn't able to find the individual pieces as cheaply as it was just to buy the set. So I've got a lot of extra pieces that I don't need, but and then it didn't quite come with one long enough I'd originally had this tighter, but I realized it's going to be important to be able to take out the LuckFox. So I won't do it now because it's all powered up, but maybe I'll power it down at the end, and I'll show you how easy it is to pull out a LuckFox if you need to work on it individually. Or change it out. You could change it out with a Pico or something else. So you could add extra things to this, or other things to this rack. Just kind of show you here. These just screw together, and then I'm using the longest and the second longest together to form one layer here. And then the other board just comes right on top. Oops, right here. The other board just comes right on top, and then we can continue stacking with the next piece. So very easy to work with, kind of like putting together Tinker Toys or something like that. So nice easy setup. I'm powering the LuckFoxes not through, let's see if I can try to turn it this way. So not through their USB-Cs. I've actually reconfigured the LuckFox's USB-Cs so that it can act as a host rather than a device. So we can plug in USB drives and other things like that. So I'm powering it on the V-bus pin number, I think 21 or something like that, or 40, I think. Pin number 40. So the very first pin on this side is the 5 volts coming straight from the power supply. And then roughly speaking, every third pin or so is ground. So as we look side on here, we can see a red wire. And all I did was I took the wire, put it side by side like this, twisted it, and then sort of wet it with some solder, and it sticks right into these screw holes, and they screw down tightly. I should say I was a little concerned about this, but no problem. The screwdriver that comes with this is, even though you have to come at a slight angle, still pretty easy to screw into the ports for these interior racks. I'm powering it with basically a modified, or a version of, let's see if I can show it here. I just took a regular USB, and cut off the end. In this case, I put some banana plugs on. That goes into our breadboards, but I just now have the exposed wires here. Again, wet them a little bit with some solder and put them right into the ports here. So that's the direct connection. Down the line, I think what we'll do is we'll add a port in here that has a current to voltage converter, and we can report the current that the network is consuming at any given time and report the power. So I did order some USB-C USB-C breakout boards. That will make it a little more versatile. We'll be able to just plug in with any old USB-C power supply, and you can get higher wattage ones if we're running this along with a lot of the breadboard projects. Then we can introduce things a little bit easier in between here, such as a current to voltage converter. Okay, I'll just talk about a few of the other things. We won't see it in this video, but we will attach here now an OLED to this network, and that will again report values, and that'll be the topic of another video when we learn about MQTT protocol on this. These are connected via, I got this at Menards, but I did just order another one from Amazon. So about 13 bucks here, about 16 bucks here at Menards. This has been working pretty well. The first one I got didn't work, so I had to return it, but this one has been working pretty well for everything I've been doing since. So right now I'm on this. What I'm going to do is get a dedicated switch, so this is on its way, and I ordered some really short internet cables so that it'll be a little more self-contained and not sending so much wires back behind my computer into the wall. Okay, so that's it for the... Okay, before getting into the details of setting it up, let's just take another quick survey of what it can do. I've got 4 terminals up here. These 2 are on my main machine yet. These have now SSH'd into the different LuckFoxes. I've assigned a static IP, and the last digits being 200, 202, 204, and 206. So starting at 200 and then even numbers, just that's just the way it ended up doing. I'm already logged into 204 and to 206. Let's log in now to 200. And we'll go over here and we'll log in to 202. So now we're in all of the different LuckFoxes. Now notice one thing, this is what we'll talk about a little bit later. It's going to be very important to change the host name. It'll be just probably defaulting to LuckFox, and then all of these will be called LuckFox, and when we try to talk to them, there'll be some conflict there. So after a little snippet of some older video that shows how to set things up, I'll come back and back to today's video, and we will learn how to assign a host name, and then that'll kind of wrap things up for this video. So you can see we're in all of these. I can explore. So if I go, I have a projects directory on all of these. But we can see that they're different. So I'll go to, I'll go to like 204. And no files in 204 really, just a folder that we'll be using in a different video. And so I can individually talk to each of these. This is not too much different right now than just having 4 LuckFoxes out there. We can SSH from one to another. So here I'll be on 200 and I'll SSH, let's say, to 202. So now you can see I'm on 202 coming through LuckFox 200. So if I go to projects now, I can see now I'm working in 202. But if I exit, now I'm back to 200, and I could say go to 204. And now I'll be in 204, and we should see the projects here now down in 204. So, and now we're seeing this. So this we have down here we've SSH into 204 from the main machine. Up here we have SSH into 200 and then into 204. Now that's still not getting the full sort of nature of the network, and so we'll come back to that in a different video. Okay, so here we are with the first part of the setup. So first thing we're going to need to do is figure out the IP address of our LuckFox. So in my case, and likely in many cases, the LuckFox is assigned a dynamic dynamic IP as soon as it gets plugged in. We can see the LuckFox over here. I've got it. This is just power, and then here's the internet connection. I've got a broken clip on there, so I've got it taped into the holder so the cord hopefully doesn't come out as we work with it. So we won't be actually physically working with the LuckFox in this early part of the setup, but later we will test some of the GPIO pins, so we'll want to be able to see the LuckFox as well. All right, so this is going to be where you're going to deviate likely, and so you might have to be on your own a little bit in terms of figuring out this first step. So in my case, I've got an ASUS router, and I will be able to log into it and determine a couple of things that we're going to need, and then you would want to do this for your particular router. So I'm going to log in, and I'm going to see my client list here. So I'm going to view my client list, and I'm going to notice my LuckFox here is on the 192.168.50.126. Now, my router's address is 192.168.50.1. And so those are the two numbers that you're going to want to figure out. What is your LuckFox currently? And then what is the base router address? Okay, so I'm going to just log out of this. And now let's go to our website for this little mini course, and we'll get some of the stuff we need. So you can just search me, and I suppose depending on where in the world you are, I'll show up somewhere on this list. Either one of this is the one you want. This is my main page here. So we'll go ahead and go there, then to teaching. And under teaching, we'll go to the LuckFox microcontroller course. Okay, so here's our base page. This is a little introduction to some of the stuff that I mentioned in the opening part of this video about what we'll do for this with this course. Okay, so we'll click on the setup guide here, and we'll just walk through that setup guide. So I'll click on that. Let's see if I can, make this a little bit bigger. And now we'll just sort of walk through this. So let me get this positioned good. So hopefully you can see pretty well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is, and this is a bit optional, but we're going to create a new user and then forbid log in with root and with Pico. The reason for that is if you're going to have this out and available, then everybody knows the password for LuckFox, or you can just look that up. It's LuckFox. So what you can do is set up your own user and password, and then you can prevent root login as well. So that's our first step here. So how we're going to read this setup guide is purple is going to be the entries that we're going to write into our terminal. Blue will be comments, and orange will just be code that we'll put in our configuration files. So let's look at what we have to do here, and I'm going to open up a terminal. And now I'm on my machine here. Now in Windows, you can just open up a Windows terminal as well. So I think it's CMD, and this terminal will come up, and all of the same stuff we'll be doing because we're almost always going to be logged actually into our LuckFox, which is running Ubuntu. So presumably you've got that set up, so let's go ahead and get there. All right, so we need to log into our LuckFox. So hopefully you've tried this before, but we'll just go through that here. So I'm going to go SSH Pico at 192.168.50, which is our sort of base part of this IP address. And then 126 is what we recognized as where the dynamic IP was assigned. So hopefully this will get us there. And then LuckFox is the I don't know. I guess I haven't even tried case sensitivity, but I just under lowercase LuckFox, and you will probably get a. Do you want to go forward with this? And then you just type yes if it's the first time you've logged in. But here we are. Now we are in the Pico the LuckFox. We can look around a little bit and see things that are there. So what we're going to do now is create a new user. So we're going to go sudo add user, Darren, and you use your name or whatever you would like here. And so we'll type that in, and then LuckFox. Oh, shoot. And then I need a password. So you type your password that you want. So that's not the LuckFox password. This you can skip here, but I'll just. Whoops. I'll put my office room and skip the rest. Okay. And yes. Okay. So now we've added this user. So now I need to go to our second line here. So sudo user mod ag sudo Darren. And what this is doing is it's elevating this user, Darren, now to sudo user. So we need that because we're going to block then the Pico. Okay, I think that's done. So now, really important here, before we go ahead and block the Pico, we want to check that this works. So I'm going to log out. And now I'm back on my machine. So you should be back on your machine. So now what we can do is SSH Darren at 192.168.50.126. And then it should ask for my password. And did it get me in? Yeah, I think it got me in. Okay, so now we know that this one works. So we're going to go and modify the configuration files now so that it doesn't allow the root user, and it also denies Pico. So there's root, and then there's the Pico user. So the Pico is set up for the Ubuntu install, and root is like the root user in just the base LuckFox setup. So what I'm going to do here is open up a file. So we use the nano text editor, and this file is in the etc. directory, and it's dealing with our SSH protocol. And okay, so now we're in this file. I'm going to open this up just a little bit here. And we need to find a couple of things here. And so hopefully I can find them. Right here, this one, permit root login. So we want to go to this. We want to uncomment that. And we want to say no. And then at the very bottom, what we want to do is add this line right here, deny user Pico. Okay, and I think that should work. Okay, now we want to restart the SSH. And I'm going to log out. And now I'm going to try to log in as Pico. I always check this because I always make mistakes in, let's see, 198. And I don't get it the first time usually. Good. So we see it was denied. So looks like I got it the first time this time. So we're going to come out of this now, and hopefully we didn't lock ourselves all the way out. So now let's use our user, our new user. And we're back in. So we have now succeeded in the first part of the setup. Again, this was an optional setup, part of the setup, but we succeeded here in denying, making a new user and then denying root access or root login. So let's go ahead and now create a static IP. So I'm going to move this off a little bit. So we need to make this YAML file, which isn't actually in here yet. So we'll go sudo nano. So this will open up the text editor, and then make sure I get this right. So now I should have an empty file, and I am going to, rather than type this in, I'm just going to copy this in. And double check here, make sure everything is right, and then let's go through what you need to change. I'm setting my LuckFoxes as 200, 201, 202 as I get more LuckFoxes. So I'm going to set this as 202. Now, you might want to set it as something different if this is used on your network, but 202, and we need this /24 here, but change that as appropriate. And then here is my router itself. So this could be different for you. So make sure that you've got that all correct. And then let's exit. Okay, so hopefully I've got that in the right spot and the file named correctly. So now we want to set this permissions. So we're going to go, I'm going to actually see if I can, no, I don't have it here. So I'm going to type this in. Oh, uh-oh, I might have a mistake here. So I think I will pause the video and see what I did wrong and then come back. Okay, I think I found it here. So I have a spelling error or a typo here. It should be FG. And do I have that right in the guide? FG, yeah. Okay, so let's go there. And then I will copy this bit back in. So as I said in the intro, I'm not the person to be learning Linux from, but we'll see if we can get this corrected here now. Okay. All right, so hopefully that will do the trick. Okay, so we should be back now to this step here. So now I'm going to go on to this step right here. And then next line, applying the net plan. Okay. Now, this happens to, this always seems to happen. And so if this hangs up like it's doing here, then what we need to do is open a new terminal and get back to that. So I'm kind of glad this happened. This happens, seems to happen all the time. So I'm going to open a new terminal here, and let's see now if we can. It should. I think it has taken effect. So we should be able to find our new address here. So. So now it should be 202. And it looks like it's going to work. So this sort of asks you if you want to log into this new IP address here. And okay, so it actually works. We just got, it just hangs up again. People who are much better at Linux than me probably can get this figured out and maybe give some comments to get past this point a little bit more gracefully. So I'm just going to close this terminal, and now we'll work on this terminal. So it should be working now. We're logged in, and we have now a static IP. Okay, so now that we've gone through the setup, let's come back to today's video, and we'll just add one more thing here. I'm going to work here on LuckFox 200, and you'll notice up here it's different than these. Up here it's LuckFox 202, down here LuckFox 202, 204, 208, or 206, and here it's LuckFox 200 test. So I deliberately changed the host name so that we can change it back here now to see how this works. So pretty easy to do. We will go simply go sudo. I'm going to actually minimize these so it's less distracting. We'll go sudo, and then we'll go to this hostname file. Whoops, sudo nano, and we'll edit this hostname file. And so when this opens, all we'll see is the name of the host. So in this case, it'll say LuckFox-200 test. So I'm going to change this now. Now yours probably says LuckFox, So you can go LuckFox-200 if you want to do exactly what I did here, or whatever IP address, or however you want to name it. You might not even want to use the IP address. So you're free to name this anything. It doesn't have to be connected to the IP address. So let's just save that. So now notice my name didn't change. And even if I exit here and then go back in, my name still hasn't changed. So what I need to do is go sudo reboot. This will kick me back out to my main machine, and it will reboot 200. So we'll give that a little time to come up. And then we will SSH in, and we should now see LuckFox 200, not LuckFox 200 test. And here we are. So that has changed the name. And so later on, when we're using the network together, it's going to be important to have these LuckFoxes have distinct names. All right, so that ends it for today's video. We saw sort of the introduction to the series. We saw the build of the mini rack. We saw how to set things up. And now we're ready to go on with some additional videos.